pretty much all casino. I got down to 700 quid, so I spent 1,300 quid on the casino. It took it took a day to lose that whole £2,000. When you're just, locked in your own room with a computer, piling money into an account, it's no life, is it? It's no life.
For the betting companies, a condition of their licence to operate is to protect the young and the vulnerable and to prevent harm. But unfortunately, far too much of their profits are coming from people with gambling problems. 4% of the gamblers are contributing 78% of the profits. And that shows that the industry is far too reliant on people who have a gambling addiction.
I think we've looked at how much I've kind of lost over the years. It's hard to really pinpoint it with accounts being closed and, owing money to companies and stuff like that. But I don't know, excess of 50k. And that's hard to kind of put into perspective of, if I didn't have that, where I would be, what I could have.
People continue to gamble despite having big losses because they are vulnerable to chasing losses. And chasing losses is one of the most significant behaviour patterns that shows you who is a problem or who is at risk of becoming problematic.
It exists the whole time, but there's just different levels of the peaks and the troughs, and they're very erratic. So, it'll be an ultimate high or a very low low.
Everyone reports needing more and more of that feeling. And it's not just the winning by any means, it's the placing something at risk that gives you the excitement. Waiting to hear whether it's a win or a lose. And in a way, the near misses as well for people who are vulnerable to problem gambling are also rewarding in their own right.
I'd know when I get paid, I'd stay up late, I'd stay up till midnight, 1 AM or whatever, just so I could get that fix. And maybe I'd be gambling for a couple of days, and then the rest of the month I'd have nothing. And then you're waiting for that next payment. Like, why would you put yourself in these situations? A normal thinking person wouldn't, but you're not thinking straight, are you? You're not thinking straight.
There are 4 levels, 4 phases of a problem gambler. The winning phase is phase 1, and that's when the gambler maybe has one of those big wins and they become preoccupied with gambling. The second phase is that losing phase, and this is when the gambler potentially is gambling too much, more than they can afford to do so. The third phase, they've reached that desperation point, so they are definitely losing more than they can afford to gamble, and they possibly have to turn to crime or stealing from a family member to fund their gambling habit. And then the final phase is the hopeless phase. They decide that basically life isn't worth living.
I can still go into certain shops and do it, but you don't want to be in there. You look at the people in there and you're just like, they probably got nothing. It's not where you want to be. So this is the betting shop I used to come to, where I'd lose all my money. Not very nice memories here. When you're trying to stop gambling, you ban all your accounts online, and it's kind of your last resort. It's where you go to. But it has a different feel to it. Online, you've got a number there that is going up and down constantly, but you've got no tangible kind of feeling of cash. Where here, you take 200 quid out, it's in your hand, and you could see the stack rising, getting lower.
People who have just turned 18 are the people that they want to target, not just because they're more likely to become addicted, but because they want to get them as soon as they turn 18 and keep them as customers and win them in the first instance. And yeah.
The danger is having the money in my account and it's having time. So again, going back to that initial student loan in my account, it's money, it's from then it had no purpose. It was just do as you wish with it. Back in the day, I'd ban my accounts, but I could never click that indefinite button. It would always be a month's ban or 6 months ban or 12 months ban.
With every addiction, you rationalise, I'll have one more, I'll just have one more. But with gambling, it's much easier to rationalise it, much easier to rationalise carrying on, because it's the only addiction where you can convince yourself by continuing to do the thing you're addicted to, you can win your way out of all the problems that it's caused. Whereas if you were addicted to cocaine or if you're addicted to drugs or whatever, you wouldn't think I need to do more cocaine to sort out all the problems of my addiction.
I can't remember how many times how many lies I've had to create, and the amount of times I've deceived family and friends, and they're what really makes you happy, not this. But they're not there the whole time. This can be there the whole time. You have access to it 24/7. You have to click that button where you're not allowed to ever go back onto these sites. That's the hardest thing you'll do, but it's also the best thing you'll ever do.